Hey, are you still residing at home without making any progress?
What the hell? That was out of the blue. How's it going, bro? I'm doing all right, and
Yeah,
I'm still residing with mom and dad.
That's completely astounding. You're nearly 30 and still haven't moved out of the house.
I'm still 28, but
yeah,
we're both getting older.
That's not the issue here. Don't you realize the issue of nearing middle age, residing in your childhood home, isolated and disconnected from society? Aren't you ashamed to consider that as a way of living?
I don't understand why you feel compelled to portray my situation in such a negative light. What does it have to do with you?
Oh, but it does. More than you can imagine.
What do you mean?
You and I are very different at our cores.
You just criticized me for being a middle-aged recluse and insisted that I should feel ashamed about it. You're heading towards the exact same situation you're lecturing me about.
You and I are very different at our cores. I hold a steady job and actively contribute to society, working for one of the fastest growing companies in the country. On the flip side of the coin, there's you. Someone who refuses to work, relies on their hardworking parents, and burdens society with their laziness and lack of ambition.
Lay off, man. How many times have I said this? I work from home.
Ooh, professional house sitting. YouTuber? What other pseudo jobs do you do?
You know as well as anyone that society is shifting to remote work whenever possible because it saves time and increases efficiency. Also, I'm self-employed, so that's a bit different.
Oh, I got it. OnlyFans.
Whatever, have your fun. Why did you all of a sudden decide to move back home?
I'm the eldest, so it's my duty to take over the house now that Dad is getting along in years and will retire at the end of the decade. Someone needs to look after them and everyone knows you can't be counted on. You know, responsibility? Yeah, I got it. You don't.
Now you want to play the good son. You never call them and only visited on holidays. You never even spent the night. Always renting a room at a nearby hotel because you didn't want to stay.
I just didn't want to impose on them because they have to deal with you on a daily basis. But now since I'm moving back, I don't want to have to share the same living space as a good-for-nothing shut-in. Just being in the same room as you during our family gatherings gives me an ulcer and causes me to break out in hives. Because of that, can you move out and make all of our lives easier?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Isn't that a bit too selfish? You want to come back home now, so I have to leave immediately? Truthfully speaking, I don't really mind one way or the other. I'll leave if mom and dad agree to it. But have you even spoken to either of them about moving back in and taking my place?
They both love me, so it's not going to be a problem at all. It's too embarrassing for me to even acknowledge you as my brother, so I have to act like you don't even exist. The people I work with don't even know I have a brother. Believe me, it's best if you just piss off somewhere away from our family and let me have my way here. It's in everyone's best interest.
For the last time, I have a job. For God's sake, I've never had to try so hard to explain myself to someone and still not have them understand what I'm saying. And you're my brother, for crying out loud.
You've been trashed at everything since as far back as I can remember. You were always chasing my shadow, mimicking everything I did, and failing spectacularly every time. If only you had my brains and talent, you wouldn't have had such a sorry life.
Well, I did get accepted first try to the university you failed to get into, so I'm not sure where you got off saying I'm not as smart as you.
Who cares about what uni you went to? It means nothing if you go to a good school but do nothing with the education and become a parasite leech. I still managed to get hired by a Fortune 500 company and have something to show for my education, unlike some freeloaders that shall remain unnamed.
Okay, sure. Whatever you say, bro. We are two different people living separate lives with different goals and values. If we both enjoy what we do and follow our dreams, then everything is peaches.
Wrong! I'm working my butt off and proving my worth to everyone while you're still an unemployed leech. Learn from your big brother for once and become independent. It's about time you quit sponging off our parents and get a life.
For the last time, I'm not sponging off anyone here. There's nothing to sponge up here, to be honest.
What does that even mean? Everyone in our family has become successful in their field except you. Dad is the vice president of a big contracting firm, Mom is the head nurse at the city hospital, and I'm a veteran employee at a tech giant. Then there's you. Probably a neckbeard SJW moderator who only leaves his room to nuke his nuggies and evacuate his bowels.
Glad to know you think so highly of me. Unfortunately, that bird misses the mark completely.
You may have graduated from a good university, but that is wasted on a shut-in that can find a good job to pay for their own underwear.
I really don't know why you're trying to stereotype me into being a shut-in, but I leave the house quite often when business requires me to do so.
But that doesn't change the fact that you spend most of your time inside, does it? Stop trying to defend yourself. It's sad to hear you try to come up with excuses. Mom told me about your daily schedule, and she never lies.
For heaven's sake, it's for work. I used to frequent a shared office space to get my business done, but I find that I can focus better working from my own room.
Oh, buzzwords and Gen Z work ethic. Trying to make it sound cooler than it actually is cringy. I know how it really is, so nothing you say can make your position sound better than it really is.
I see nothing I say will convince you otherwise, so let's wrap this up. I still have quite a bit of unfinished work, so I'll take my leave if there's nothing else.
Yeah, I guess being a professional recluse is a 24/7 job, so you better hurry up and get back to doing nothing. About me moving back, I hope everything is in order for me to take over.
Moving? You're actually serious about that?
Of course I was serious. Why would I lie about something like this?
As I told you before, you never showed any interest in dealing with Mom and Dad.
Whatever, I'll be moving in tomorrow.
That's a bit on the sudden side, isn't it?
So you and all your crap needs to be out before the trucks arrive.
What the hell, dude? That's asking a lot on such short notice. As I asked before, did you get Mom and Dad's approval for all of this? Do you really know what's going on in this household currently?
A non-issue if that. Of course I know what's going on. I'm the eldest son. Mom was overjoyed when she heard I was gonna move back in. I guess she's happy that the useful son is gonna take the place of the gargoyle that drains her happiness and sanity.
I see, so you really want me to leave and you're gonna take my place?
That's right. Nobody needs you, so get lost and make way. I'm sorry, you're feeling frustrated and abandoned?
Not really, I thought it would hurt more, but I actually feel kind of free, like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. You understand that once I leave, I'm never coming back, right?
It's what we're all hoping for.
So everyone is really okay with me leaving this house and burning all bridges behind me?
Quit trying to sound so dramatic. You're acting like your simple existence brings some kind of value to the table. Spend more time packing and less time trying to make me feel sympathy for you. It's not gonna work. You're the black sheep in a family of accomplished individuals. A louse like you brings down the prestige of our family, and probably even the land value with your unwashed flesh.
Excellent.
What?
I'm so glad to hear that from you. I was recently thinking that I really want to get out of here, so thanks for the seal of approval. Okay, I'll be out of here with all my stuff before midnight. Thanks for taking over and taking care of Mom and Dad.
Wait, can you really leave that suddenly? When you have no money? Don't think of asking Mom or Dad for money.
I told you I can leave on my own with no help from anyone. I'm not sure where you're getting your information from, but I have plenty of money.
How could you? You're a bomb!
For the last time, I am not a freeloading sponge. So, as per your wishes, I will be leaving this house to your care. As an addendum, don't bother me with any of the problems you may encounter as the new man of the house.
I don't see how you have anything I would need or if any of your skills would be of value to me. Just leave and open a window before you go, so your funk doesn't make me gag. Hurry up and pick up. We need to talk ASAP.
I have nothing to say to you. I told you not to get me involved anymore. I'm finally gonna be able to live my best life. You had your time, now it's mine.
This is not how any of this was supposed to go.
What are you talking about?
Mom and Dad are living at me and want me to convince you to come back.
No, and why? You have a job and bring in a handsome salary, don't you? They should be happy to have a reliable son like you looking after them. So, it's no longer necessary for me to hang around there and keep them afloat.
It's not that.
Oh, perhaps you didn't tell them that me moving out was part of the deal of you moving back in? No, that can't be it. Ultra-reliable big brother Alex would never make a mistake like that. He would never kick his little brother out of their childhood home in a show of power and not tell their parents about it. I wasn't quite a hurry last night getting my stuff packed to go and didn't have time to talk to the rents. I simply assumed that you would have of course told them about the change they would have to witness.
Well, it seems that Mom didn't know that you would leave when I moved back in. She was so excited to hear that I was coming to live with them again. Apparently she thought that we would be able to live together as a full family again. So she was overjoyed imagining how things were going to be again.
Yeah, that's something you should have explained better. Anyhow, I'm not going back. Make sure you make the monthly mortgage payments on the house so you can all continue to have a roof over your heads.
Mortgage? I thought the house was paid off.
You didn't even know about that?
I haven't heard anything. Mom is in hysteric panic, and Dad looks like he's about to blow a gasket. I was told just to get a hold of you. What is this nonsense about paying a mortgage?
Up until now, I was the one paying off the mortgage they took out on the house.
How is an unemployed freeloader supposed to pay off anything? But more importantly, why did they take out a mortgage on the house?
Let me answer those in order. For the umpteenth time, I have a job. In fact, it's extremely well paying. A few years back, a security program I wrote was picked up by the Department of Defense. Since then, I've been raking it in programming security algorithms for all kinds of companies. I also make brisk business being a consultant and advisor on the side. I'm making money hand over fist at the moment and have plenty saved away in a rainy day fund. That is more like a tropical storm vault now. Because I'm making good money now, I've been able to help out Mom and Dad in these tougher times. Now, it's your turn to support them.
Why wasn't I told about any of this? You were just a freeloading parasite after university, right?
There is nothing to freeload off of at that house.
Dad makes enough money from his job as a contractor that there should be no need to mortgage the house, right?
You really need to learn to stop and listen to people around you, instead of running your mouth and trying to force your way by talking fast and loud. Dad took an early retirement a few years back and blew his entire severance package at the racetracks. He even went into debt to the bookies and is now working part-time as janitor at the supermarket to try and feed his habit.
You can't be serious.
Mom had to resign from her job at the hospital because of the embarrassment her husband caused us. She is now working the till at the local gas station to help pay off Dad's debts. I can't believe you really didn't know anything.
No, this can't be real. This is nothing like it was supposed to be. This is not my plan.
Plan? May I ask you what your plan was?
I plan to quit my job at the firm and take it easy at home for a good while.
You wanted to do what you thought I was doing?
If I came home, then I'd at least have a place to stay for free and eat 3 square meals a day. I figured I could use this time off to figure out what I wanted to do next.
So the truth comes out. My cocky elite brother was really just a gopher at the bottom of the pecking order.
Where did you hear that?
A good friend of mine from university was hired by the same company as you. He said there was a guy that had been there for years, but was always screwing up paperwork, providing the wrong documents, and being a general pain to everyone around him. He was suspicious at first because that useless employee's last name was the same as mine, but could it really be? I heard him out and asked for the full name of the landmine employee before him. Lo and behold, the name matched that of my dear older brother.
Who was that? Tell me now.
Doesn't really matter, does it? You know that most of the people around you felt that, didn't you? That's why you're quitting. To escape the ridicule and mocking stares.
On top of that, I never thought I would have to pay for things when I moved back home. I have no savings at all.
Maybe you should have used your salary more economically instead of blowing it on a luxury car, designer clothes, and stupid watches.
What should I do? The contract on my apartment was up, so I bailed before I had to pay another deposit on it. I had nowhere else to go. The only option is for you to come back and help out the family.
That's a nope from me, bro. You told me to leave, and I did. On the condition that I would never return once I left, and we would never communicate again. You were happy to agree to that. Now you come begging on your knees after insulting me for years.
I didn't know Dad wasn't dead and both our parents are only working part-time jobs.
That mortgage money was supposed to go to paying off Dad's debts, but he secretly took it to all the races and lost it all on one race. So the mortgage isn't the whole debt you need to deal with, you still have to pay off the principal on Dad's debts to the bookies. Have fun.
All of it? Are you serious?
Yes. It's quite the sum. With my earnings, I kept the interest payments at bay and was making some headway against the principal. It's now your responsibility, big bro. So as the responsible eldest child, you will now buckle down and wade through the mocking and ridicule at work so you can earn a paycheck to support your parents, right?
That's impossible. I turned in my resignation yesterday. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Why does nothing work the way I want it to?
Life doesn't care about your plans, and those around you have no obligation to bend to your petty demands. I've spent the last 5 years of my life paying off Dad's mistakes while weathering your vitriol. Now it's your turn to pony up and my turn to enjoy the wealth that I've justly earned. I also told you to make sure everything was okay with Mom and Dad. I figured you would learn the truth then, but you obviously didn't let Mom explain anything and ran your mouth. This is what happens when you don't communicate properly with those around you. Same as your, I guess former now, job.
I thought Dad was a super successful businessman. So I had a safe fallback. Why did things turn out like this?
Gambling addiction is a real disease. Half my efforts have been to try and keep Dad from taking his paychecks directly to the horses. But he still tries every 2 weeks to sneak out to the races. I was even paying for therapy and rehab, but he always skipped out on them saying he had no problem, and he was sure the next time would be his big payoff. He may be a lost cause.
Then what should I do?
I don't know.
Don't act like this doesn't concern you.
But it doesn't. You took responsibility for everything once you kicked me out. I double and triple checked that you understood that once I left, I was never coming back. I have zero intention of helping you out and will not return under any circumstance. Use your elite skills and status to power through this, all right, buddy?
Do you really think you can abandon me at a time like this? I am your older brother. You must respect me and do what I want you to do.
As you said yourself, I'm just mimicking what my older brother does.
What do you mean?
So I'm abandoning my position and claim no responsibility of a situation that is clearly difficult, but can be solved through hard work and sacrifice. Just like you, big brother, I learned it from you. Take some advice from yourself here and get off your butt and do something with your life. You'll be unable to fulfill your dream of leeching off mom and dad, so you might need to revise your plans. Ironic that you ridiculed me for the imaginary lifestyle you then wanted to take up, only to find out that you have more trouble and responsibility than the life you're leaving because it was too hard for you. Subsequently, Alex returned to his job in an embarrassed state, imploring to have his resignation revoked. He professed to experiencing a change of heart and discovered newfound motivation to become a valuable asset to the company. Naturally, his request was denied, and his resignation was accepted, leading to his departure from the company. Evidently, he endured ridicule from his colleagues throughout the final fortnight as someone inadvertently divulged the reasons behind his resignation and the predicament he had encountered. Jim declined to lend a hand, exacerbating the family's predicament. They were incessantly pursued by his father's outstanding debts, and Jack had to secure the first available job that would accommodate him. Hopefully, this humbling ordeal will impart a valuable lesson to those who are excessively arrogant, prompting them to restrain their pride. Alternatively, they might find themselves in a situation akin to Alex's.
Hey Amity, have you found a place to stay yet? Or are you still at your parents'? I'm just asking because I'm going to take Roy to see his parents next week. I was hoping you'd be out when we arrived so there wouldn't be any awkwardness. Why haven't you found a place yet? Parents are not comfortable when you are still there.
I know. I'll leave as soon as I can, but it won't be easy. And I'm still stuck in the trouble that happened.
What do you mean? What trouble happened?
Well, the trouble is my little sister stole my fiancé. Were all the terrible things you accused me of doing to make me look bad and justify what you did? I'm just still in shock about everything.
Please. Let's get over it. You are being treated like a villain because you are the villain here. Only people who know they have done wrong will complain about being unjustly accused.
That doesn't make any sense, Mila. What are you talking about?
I am absolutely correct. I didn't force Roy to fall in love with me. It just happened. What can I do? You're too bad for him and always nag about responsibilities and other boring things. No wonder he doesn't really want to marry you.
Of course it's all your fault. You can fool others, but of all people you cannot fool me. You fell down the stairs yourself and then told everyone I pushed you. Although I was not near you at that time.
All I do is tell the truth. I sprained my ankle very badly that fall. It's heartless when you don't care at all.
Of course I care, but it was your carelessness that brought you down. And then you took advantage of the fact that there was no one around to blame me. I don't understand how my parents can believe such an obvious lie. And somehow, you were able to use it to turn me into a horrible person and take Roy away from me.
I'm not. Roy was mine by then. He loves me, so of course he's on my side. Is there something else you need me to explain to you? Looks like you have no one left to be with. You better disappear now, okay?
Trust me, I understand that. No one is willing to see the real you. What do you know? I'm so tired of this. I dragged my feet as I moved because I was hoping someone would wake up and realize what was going on. But I guess that won't happen. I'm going out of the house today. I can't handle any of you anymore.
Very good.
You made it perfectly clear. There's not a single person I can rely on in my own family. No one can see the truth even if it is right in front of them.
Sorry? That is rude. You pushed me down the stairs. They only treat you that way because you deserve it.
You can say whatever you want at this point. I'm leaving soon, so nothing you can say is important to me anymore. Say whatever your crazy mind comes up with. I'm packing up my things right now, so leave me alone.
2 hours later.
Hey. Have you gone?
I made an appointment with an apartment manager to view an apartment.
Okay, good. Then you should go out early. It won't take long to clean up, right? It's not like you have anything of value to pack.
I packed everything I needed to bring. Thanks to someone sneaking into my room and stealing a bunch of my stuff.
What? I'm not. I didn't steal anything. I just took what you said I could have. It's your fault for buying clothes and things that don't suit you. I am much more beautiful than you, so it makes sense for me to take it all from you.
I said someone stole from me. I have never accused you of anything.
Oh.
Thanks for the confirmation, though. I doubt it will change anything, but at least I have proof of your theft.
Oh my God! You are so annoying. You just need to leave.
I'm leaving now.
Good. I'm glad I don't have to deal with you anymore. In the end, nothing stood in my way.
Oh, one more thing, Mila. Roy has blocked my number, so I need you to text me.
What?
If he doesn't return the $3,000 he borrowed from me by the end of the month, I'll take him to court for it.
What? What $3,000?
He already knows how to give me money, so if you can send him that text, that would be great. Thank. If he has any questions, he can send them through you or unblock me and wonder.
Ridiculous. Why did he borrow your money? He works at a big company and earns a lot of money. You barely make a living. There is no way this is true. You're making up stories because you don't want to let him go.
I'm not, and I can prove it. I have a written promise from him to return it.
Yeah, whatever. You have nothing.
Look, I really don't care if you believe me or not. Just give him a message, okay? I'm sure he'll tell you why he borrowed money from me if you ask him.
I didn't tell him anything. Stop here. This is not a funny joke. It just makes you look desperate.
Whatever. It's up to you. I'm leaving now. I really hope I never have to go back. Bye, Mila.
Several months later.
Amity. Guess. I have some great news. Roy proposed to me. Reply to my message. You don't have to ignore me. It's so romantic. He proposed while we were walking together on the beach. The sun is setting and it's perfect. It was the sweetest thing ever.
Oh. Congratulations.
We started talking about the wedding. We are planning with a budget of about $50,000. Perhaps a little more when all is said and done.
Really? I think you won't get that hope. That's a lot of money.
Please. You are just jealous.
No. I just know that he doesn't have that much money and neither does our family.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. Stop being such a demeaning person. I know what your negative attitude really is. Who cares that he had to borrow some money from you before? Now that is over and his financial situation is very different from then. Besides, he told me that he returned your money a few days after I sent him your message.
Oh, right. Well, I appreciate that you sent the message.
He told me that at first he only had to borrow from you because of some unexpected expenses. You are ruthless trying to get that money back. It just reveals how selfish you really are when you do such things.
That is absolutely not what happened. Look, Mila. All I wanted was a clean breakup between you and me, and I almost got it. I don't understand why you feel the need to brag to me about how happy you two are. You won. Leave me alone.
I apologize for assuming you wanted time to prepare for the wedding. I guess you love being blindsided by wedding invitations.
Are you serious right now? After all that's happened, I think I'll be the last person you want to invite to your wedding.
Of course I want you there. We are family. I'm not trying to brag about anything, I just wanted to share the news with my sister. I didn't want any drama if you found out from someone else, so I thought I'd tell you myself.
I wouldn't have started any drama regardless of how I found out. I told you, I just want to move on and heal after all this.
Okay, fine. Let's do it that way.
Do you need anything else?
Well, I guess not.
I have to go back to work.
God, really? Today is Saturday. Why are you working? Are you so poor that you have to do a side job or something? No wonder you ask Roy to give you that money.
I changed careers and entered the hospitality industry. Weekend is just another day for me now.
Oh. I didn't know you changed careers.
Thanks to you, I'm actually making quite a bit of money now. The salary here is higher than where I worked before, and I don't have to pay anything to my parents or help Roy anymore.
What do you mean, thank me?
Isn't it obvious? If you hadn't betrayed me, I wouldn't be here as I am now. I don't think there's anything else to do or say at this point. Goodbye.
Several months later.
Amity! Reply to my messages now. I need you.
What do you want? I can't really talk. I'm at work right now.
Are you ready to congratulate me?
Congratulation? For what? Is your wedding coming up? I congratulated you for that.
Yes, it's next Sunday. You congratulated me when I told you that Roy proposed, but I wanted to talk to you about the wedding gift you gave us. We're sisters, so $50,000 would be the right amount to give us, I think.
I'm sorry, what now? Are you seriously asking me to give you $50,000? Have you lost your mind?
You are my big sister. You should want to help me in any way you can. You can't put a price tag on how much sisters mean to each other.
Wow, I don't even know where to start with all that. But I think I know what's going on here. You finally realize the financial situation you're in, right? You can't afford the big, expensive wedding you want, so you expect someone else to give you cash.
No, it's not like that.
You went bankrupt. Let's admit it.
It's not true. I have a little money.
No. You refuse to do anything other than a part-time job, so you don't make much money. And what you earn, you'd rather spend on useless things and hang out than try to save. On top of that, your parents probably still give you pocket money whenever you ask for it. Although they really don't have the ability to do that. So you have no reason to try to save any money, right? And sure, Roy works for a big company, so you might think you can rely on him for money. But he is only a temporary employee. That won't last forever.
How do you know that?
Because I was engaged to him first. There's nothing about him that I don't know yet. I'm going to go out and say you've just discovered that temporary employees earn much less than permanent employees. That's why you suddenly asked for money before the wedding day. The reason he had to borrow money from me in the past was because he was temporarily laid off when the company downsized. He needs help just to make ends meet until he gets his next temporary job. I didn't expect him to be able to pay me off immediately after I told you about the debt. I wonder where he borrowed the money to do that.
He said he has money and he just forgot to give it back to you until I say something.
Sure, he did. Back to people giving you money to pay for your wedding. You went into this with the assumption that he would pay for everything. But he got the impression that our parents would pay for the wedding because they tried to pretend they had money even though they didn't really. That's the way it is, isn't it?
Yes, but it's not my fault. I didn't know that Roy was just a temporary employee. I think he has a really good salary as a full-time employee, so I never doubted that he would be able to take the job. You are more to blame than me. Why don't you tell me if you know he doesn't earn that much? I had no idea. I feel so lied.
I told you about it when I got engaged to him. And you and I have some mutual friends, so I'm sure they mentioned it at some point. No one tries to hide it from you. You just don't want to hear about it because it's inconvenient. I know I mentioned that to my parents and I'm pretty sure you were there too. I told you we decided not to get married until he was offered a full-time job. But I guess you didn't listen because you planned to stab me in the back.
You should still tell me. I don't care if he chooses me over you. How can you let me think he has a well-paying job when he doesn't? That's basically like me being scammed. I didn't know I was with someone so poor he couldn't even afford a decent wedding.
You are a mature woman. Do you really need your sister to treat you like a baby and tell you every little thing? Neither Roy nor I have ever kept the status of our jobs a secret. If you really don't know, it's because you weren't paying attention.
You are trying to blame me. Why do you think like that?
If the two of you haven't had a conversation about this before, it's your problem. Not me, not my parents, no one. Only you. And you're the one who took him away from me in the first place. Anything that involves Roy becomes your problem when you do it. At that point, his problem is no longer my responsibility.
That doesn't change anything.
And on top of that, you accuse me of pushing you downstairs and making me a criminal. I was forced to move out because of you. There's no point in trying to put the blame on me. This is 100% your fault.
No, that's not it. You are also at fault.
In case it's not clear enough, I won't give you any money. Not for your wedding or any other reason.
No, Amity, please, I'm your sister. You should help me.
Even if I wanted to, I don't have that much money to throw around.
Please, I will do anything. If we cannot pay by Sunday, the wedding will have to be cancelled. We've invited a lot of people already. It would be a shame to have to cancel at the last minute. Besides, I don't even have enough money for the cancellation fee if it gets to that point. We have nothing. Please help me even just once. You'll never have to hear from me again if you don't want to. If you help me, I will be a better sister. I promise. I will always be here for you. Please, Amity.
After that, Mila kept calling me and texting me afterwards. She even made our parents and Roy do the same. Mila argues that I shouldn't hold a grudge against her and should help her with the wedding expenses. Roy suggested we get back together. But then he had the audacity to ask me for money during a conversation. My parents asked me to come back home. But, again, they also asked for money, so I don't believe they are really sincere. Since I switched to work in the hotel industry, it is true that I am making more money. But I still don't earn enough to pay Mila what she asked for. Even if I wanted to. In the end, I had to change my phone number because they wouldn't stop harassing me for money. A friend of mine who is also a friend of Roy's told me that he had cut ties with his family when they found out what had happened. They don't like the idea of him trying to extort money from someone through marriage. In the end, I'm glad I didn't marry him and ended up having to rely on him for the rest of my life. I heard that they could only pay half of the wedding cancellation fee. My parents ended up selling their house for almost nothing. They couldn't do anything anymore. My parents and my sister moved in together in an apartment, but they argued almost every day. The neighbors are constantly complaining about them, so it is likely that they will be forced to move out again.
Hey, honey! How was the trip? Did you have fun?
Hi, dear. Oh, the trip was absolutely amazing. I had so much fun being a part of it.
That's great to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What were some of the highlights for you?
Well, we visited some breathtaking locations, explored new cities, and tried delicious local cuisine. The scenery was absolutely stunning, and the people we met were so friendly and welcoming. It was truly an unforgettable experience.
I'm thrilled that you had such a wonderful time. It's always great to see you happy and enjoying yourself. Did you take any memorable photos?
Oh, definitely. I took tons of photos to capture the beautiful moments we had together. I can't wait to show them to you when I get back home. You would love the picturesque landscapes and the vibrant atmosphere.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the pictures and hearing more about your adventures. It's so refreshing to see you filled with joy and excitement. It sounds like this trip was everything you hoped for.
Absolutely, dear. It exceeded my expectations in every way. Thank you for suggesting it and making it possible for us to experience such incredible moments together. It's moments like these that make our bond even stronger.
You're welcome, my love. I'm glad I could contribute to your happiness. We make a great team, and I'm grateful for every adventure we embark on together. Can't wait to have you back home and hear all the stories.
Hey, Ralph. I had such a great time on this trip. I wish you were here with me to experience it all.
I'm glad you had a wonderful time, Theodora. I'm sorry. It's just that something unexpected has come up, and I need to address it. My mother has asked me to move out of the house. She's feeling tired and doesn't want me around anymore.
Ralph, I can't believe your mother is trying to kick us out of our own house. How dare she do that?
I'm just as furious, Theodora. It's our property, and she has no right to make such demands. I think she's using this as an excuse to take over the house and live alone.
This is unacceptable, Ralph. We've worked so hard to build a life together, and now she wants to undermine it. We won't let her get away with this.
You're absolutely right, Theodora. We won't stand by and let her take what is rightfully ours. It's time to take a firm stand and reclaim our house.
We've invested our time, energy, and love into making this house a home, and now she thinks she can just kick us out? I won't allow it. We'll fight back and protect what is rightfully ours.
I'm with you, Theodora. We'll gather all the necessary legal support and make sure our rights are protected. It's time to show her that we won't be intimidated or pushed around.
She needs to understand that we won't back down. We won't let her manipulate us or take advantage of our kindness. Our unity and determination will be our strength.
Absolutely, Theodora. We'll stay strong and united throughout this process. This is our home, and we'll do whatever it takes to defend it. We won't let anyone come between us and the life we've built together.
I'm glad we're on the same page, Ralph. Together, we'll face this challenge head-on and reclaim our house. Our love and determination will prevail.
I couldn't ask for a more supportive and strong partner like you, Theodora. We'll face this obstacle together, and I have no doubt that we'll emerge victorious. Our bond is unbreakable.
Our love and commitment to each other will guide us through this difficult time, Ralph. We'll fight for what is rightfully ours and protect our home. Nothing can shake us when we stand together.
That's the spirit, Theodora. Let's gather our strength and take the necessary steps to reclaim our house. We'll make sure that justice is served, and we can continue building a future together in our home.
I'm ready, Ralph. We'll take back our house and show your mother that we won't be pushed around. Our determination and resilience will overcome any obstacles in our way. We're in this together, always.
Together, we're an unstoppable force, Theodora. Our love will guide us, and our determination will lead us to victory. I'm grateful to have you by my side through thick and thin. Theodora, I've been thinking about what you said earlier, and I understand your frustration. If my mother doesn't intend to return the house to us, maybe we should consider taking legal action.
Ralph, I'm glad you're on board with the idea. It's been months since she moved out, and she never even discussed it with us. I can't believe she would do something like this without any explanation.
I agree, it's unacceptable. But before we jump to legal action, don't you think it would be better if we try to talk to my mother first? I want to understand her reasoning behind taking over the house. There might be some miscommunication or misunderstanding that we're not aware of.
Ralph, we've tried talking to her in the past, and it never went well. She's always been difficult to communicate with, and I don't want to subject ourselves to more frustration. Besides, what reason could she possibly have for taking our house without our consent?
I understand your concerns, but I think it's worth another shot. We're family, and it's important to exhaust all avenues before resorting to legal action. Maybe there's something we're missing here, and if we can have a calm and honest conversation, we might be able to resolve this without escalating the situation.
All right, Ralph, I see your point. But please promise me that if she doesn't provide a reasonable explanation or refuses to cooperate, we won't let this go on any longer. We need to protect our rights and make sure she understands the consequences of her actions.
I promise, Theodora. Our priority is to find a fair resolution, but if it comes to it, we'll take the necessary steps to protect our interests. Let's schedule a meeting with my mother and approach this with patience and open minds. Hopefully, we can reach an understanding and find a solution that benefits everyone involved.
Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate your willingness to address this issue together. Let's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. We'll face this challenge as a team and ensure that our rights are respected.
Theodora. Actually, there's something I need to tell you. Remember when you were away and didn't have a place to stay? Well, it turns out that my mother locked the house when I was out and demanded that I leave our home.
What? I can't believe she would do something like that. Why would she lock us out of our own house? What did she say?
I was just as shocked as you are. She didn't give a clear reason, but she was furious when I returned. She accused me of neglecting my duties as a son and claimed that you weren't welcome in our family anymore.
This is outrageous. How could she treat us like this? We've always been respectful and considerate towards her. I can't believe she's being so heartless.
I know, Theodora. It's incredibly hurtful. I tried to reason with her, but she was unwilling to listen. She insisted that I should prioritize her over our own family and demanded that I comply with her wishes.
Ralph, we can't let her control our lives like this. This is our home, and we have the right to live here without interference. We can't allow her to manipulate us or dictate our decisions.
I completely agree, Theodora. We can't let her actions go unchallenged. We deserve to be treated with respect and have our boundaries honored. I'm considering talking to a lawyer to understand our legal options.
That might be the best course of action. We need to protect our rights and ensure that this kind of behavior doesn't continue. It's time to stand up for ourselves and assert our independence.
I love you, Theodora, and I'm sorry you had to go through this. We'll get through this together. Let's gather any evidence we have and consult with a lawyer. We won't let her disregard our rights and make us feel unwelcome in our own home.
Thank you, Ralph. Your support means everything to me. We'll fight for what's rightfully ours and make sure she understands the consequences of her actions. We deserve to live in peace and harmony, and we won't let anyone take that away from us.
Absolutely, Theodora. We'll be strong and resilient. We won't back down until justice is served. Our love and commitment will guide us through this difficult time.
I thought about it and decided to text my mother-in-law the next day to understand this story.
Hi, Mom. It's Theodora. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk to you about something that has been bothering me. Recently, when Ralph and I were away from home, you locked the doors and demanded that we leave our own house. I'm confused and hurt by your actions. Can you please explain why you did that?
Hello, Theodora. I understand that you're upset, but I want you to know that I did what I did out of a sense of frustration and concern. Ralph is my son, and I feel that he has forgotten his responsibilities towards me and the family. I raised him and took care of him, and now I believe it's time for him to repay that debt.
I understand that you raised Ralph and took care of him, and I appreciate everything you've done. But locking us out of our home is not the right way to address the issue. We are a family, and we should communicate and resolve problems through open dialogue and understanding.
I agree that my actions may have seemed extreme, and for that, I apologize. But I felt like I had no other way to get Ralph's attention. I'd been feeling neglected and overlooked, and I wanted him to realize the importance of family and our bond.
I can understand your feelings of neglect, but there are better ways to address those concerns. By locking us out, you not only hurt us, but also damaged the trust between us. We value family, and we want to find a solution that respects everyone's needs and feelings.
I see no problem. Ralph is my son. He needs to be held accountable for this. Shouldn't you also understand?
Mom-in-law, I'm furious about the way you have treated us. It was agreed that we would take care of you together, but instead, you intentionally drove us out of our own home and claimed it for yourself. I can't comprehend why you would act so illogically and unjustly.
Theodora, I understand that you're upset, but please try to understand my perspective. I had my reasons for taking such actions. I felt like Ralph was neglecting his responsibilities towards me, and I wanted to make a point.
Your reasons don't justify your actions, Mom-in-law. We had an agreement, and there was no need to resort to such extreme measures. It's unfair and unjust for you to kick us out of our home without any valid reason.
Theodora, I want to make it clear that I believe I am not in the wrong here. Ralph is my son, and he has a responsibility towards me. Regarding the house, I demand that both Ralph and you pack up your belongings by this Sunday. If you fail to do so, I will burn and discard everything, considering it as trash.
Mom, you have no right to touch our belongings or threaten to destroy them. This is our home, and we have rights as tenants. You cannot simply dictate what we should do with our personal belongings.
I understand your frustration, Theodora, but I want to emphasize that this house belongs to our family, and I have my reasons for asking you to remove your belongings. Ralph needs to fulfill his responsibilities towards me, and this is one way for him to show that he acknowledges them.
Mom, I respect your role as Ralph's mother, but that does not give you the authority to meddle in our personal affairs or make unreasonable demands. Burning our belongings is an extreme and irrational action. We will not tolerate such behavior.
It's only natural, Theodora. Since Ralph has been with you, he has completely forgotten about me. He no longer cares or worries about me. So, I believe I am entitled to what rightfully belongs to me, which is this house.
Mom, I am angered by your statement. You should reconsider your stance on this matter because if you continue with your extreme actions, I will not hesitate to involve the police and authorities to address this issue.
Theodora, I want you to understand that I am Ralph's mother. I brought him into this world, and the house is a rightful inheritance for me. Since Ralph has abandoned his responsibilities towards me, I am only claiming what is rightfully mine.
Mom, being Ralph's mother doesn't give you the sole ownership or right to this house. Ralph and I have built a life together, and we have rights as tenants. You cannot simply assert your claim based on emotional ties. We should approach this situation with fairness and respect for everyone involved.
Theodora, I acknowledge your perspective, but as Ralph's mother, I believe I deserve more. I have sacrificed and given so much for him throughout his life. It's only fair that I have a share in this house.
Mom, if you continue to hold on to your own opinion and disregard mine, I will not hesitate to involve the police and seek legal assistance to provide psychological evaluation. I'm not trying to issue a warning, but I want to convey the truth to you. And don't assume that Ralph will come to your aid if you persist in this stubbornness.
Theodora, I understand your concern, but threatening me with legal action is not the solution. I believe in my rights as a mother, and I have my reasons for seeking what I believe is fair. As for Ralph, I have raised him and supported him throughout his life, and I trust that he will understand and support me.
Mom, I respect your role as Ralph's mother, but that doesn't give you the right to trample on our rights or disregard our feelings. Threatening legal action is not something I take lightly, but I'm left with no choice if you refuse to listen and understand our perspective. We want to resolve this amicably, but you leave us no other option.
Theodora, I understand that you're frustrated, but I don't believe I've done anything wrong, so I won't accept this. I stand by my position and will not be swayed by threats or ultimatums. I have my reasons for seeking what I believe is fair.
Mom, if you don't change your opinion and only focus on your own perspective without considering mine, I will report this to the police and seek legal counsel to obtain a psychological evaluation. I'm not trying to issue a warning, but I'm telling you the truth. And don't think that Ralph will come to your aid if you continue to be stubborn about this. Mom, I'm not trying to cause conflict or make empty threats. I genuinely want you to understand the seriousness of this situation. By involving the authorities, I hope to bring clarity and resolution to our dispute. Ralph and I deserve to have our rights protected, and we won't back down if it means ensuring our well-being and happiness.
Theodora, I cannot agree with your approach. I believe in my rights as a mother, and I have my reasons for my actions. I have taken care of Ralph and supported him throughout his life, and I expect him to show gratitude and loyalty to me. I don't believe he would abandon me in this matter.
Mom, I understand that you've played an important role in Ralph's life, but that doesn't give you the right to infringe upon our rights and create an unjust situation. We want to resolve this peacefully and amicably, but we also need to protect ourselves. We've tried to reason with you, but if you continue to be uncompromising, we will have no choice but to take legal action.
Mom, it saddens me that it has come to this. I had hoped for a peaceful resolution, but it seems that we are at an impasse. I will proceed with the necessary steps to protect our rights and seek the justice we deserve. The house will belong to me. It is my right.
I decided to call the police and contact the smuggler that same night. Everything was not unexpected in the early morning. My mother-in-law contacted me because the police came to work and received an email from my lawyer.
Theodora, I received your message, and I can't believe you called the police to intervene. How dare you take such drastic measures?
Mom, I had no choice but to involve the police. You left Ralph and me with no home to return to. We had to stay in a hotel, and we had nothing with us because you threw away all our belongings.
How dare you accuse me of such things? I did what I believed was necessary. Ralph needs to understand his responsibilities towards me, and this was the only way I saw fit to get his attention.
Mom, you can't justify your actions by saying it was necessary. We have a right to our own home and personal belongings. You can't just take them away and leave us with nothing. It's unfair and unacceptable.
Theodora, you don't understand the sacrifices I've made for Ralph. I raised him, cared for him, and now I need him to acknowledge that. The house belongs to me, and I have the right to do as I please with it.
Mom, I respect the role you played in Ralph's life, but that doesn't give you the right to treat us this way. We have our own lives to live, and you can't force your expectations upon us. Taking away our home and belongings is not the solution.
I did what I thought was necessary to make Ralph understand his responsibilities towards me. If he can't appreciate and support me, then he doesn't deserve the house or the belongings. I have the right to assert my position as his mother.
Mom, it's not about deserving or not deserving. It's about respecting our rights as individuals. We deserve a home and the basic necessities to live our lives. Your actions are unjustifiable, and I had no choice but to involve the authorities to protect our rights. Mom, the truth is, you don't really love Ralph. It's just your excessive possessiveness. You want to take over this house because you have a selfish desire to possess it.
That's completely false. How dare you make such accusations? I love Ralph, and I only want what's best for him. You're just using words to deceive him, and I will make sure he sees your true colors.
Mom, it's not about deceiving anyone. I genuinely care for Ralph, and I want him to be happy. Your actions show that you prioritize your own desires over his well-being. You're willing to manipulate the situation to get what you want.
How dare you question my love for my own son? I have raised him and cared for him all these years. I have his best interests at heart, unlike you. I will make sure he sees your true intentions.
Mom, love is not about control or possession. It's about supporting and respecting each other's happiness. Your excessive need to control Ralph's life and take over our home is not an act of love. It's driven by your own selfish desires.
You think you know what love is? I've done everything for Ralph, and I deserve to be rewarded for it. I will make sure he realizes the truth about you and your deceitful nature.
Mom, I have no intention of deceiving Ralph. I have always been honest and sincere with him. It's important to prioritize trust and understanding in a relationship, rather than resorting to accusations and manipulation.
I will not stand for your disrespect any longer. I will make sure Ralph sees the truth and understands your true intentions. You will not get away with trying to ruin our family.
Mom, I never wanted to ruin our family. I wanted us to find a peaceful resolution where everyone's rights and happiness are respected. It's unfortunate that we have reached this point, but I hope we can find a way to resolve this without further damage to our relationship.
I don't want to hear any more of your lies. You will regret the day you crossed me. I will fight to protect what is rightfully mine.
Mom, I hope someday you can see beyond your own desires and truly understand the importance of love, respect, and compromise within a family. Our happiness shouldn't come at the expense of others.
After this conversation, I stopped this argument with my mother-in-law so that the police could reconcile things. I was informed by the police that I would take her to a nursing home in the city, which gave Raf and me peace of mind. Everything stopped. We decided to visit the mother-in-law on the nearest occasion after she calmed down.